What's up everyone, it's Alexander Hagberg here for Team X-Ray. I'm here at my local track today doing some testing with the all-new X4'24. In this video I'll talk a bit about the differences between the 24 and the 23 car in terms of driving, to work on the car and how to set it up. So especially focusing on low grip asphalt conditions, which I have here right behind me. So visually the car is really different to the X4'23. You can see how much lower and more centralized everything is, and it really looks a lot more neater and more efficient. And the looks obviously is one thing, but what amazes me the most is how it drives on the track and how easy it is to work on. At the first glance you may think that it's more difficult to work on than the X4'23. But to be honest, that's just a perception. As soon as you start building it or working on it, you'll soon realize that it has the same user friendliness, and it's as easy to work on as any T4 or X4 platform has been in the past, which is also a trademark for the X-Ray brand. The lower CG and centralized weight improve the handling in every aspect. But for example, here on a practice day like the one today, where I'm at my local track, the track's a little bit dusty, the grip is on the lower side. In the past, when I was using the 23 car, I often found myself making changes to make it handle better on the low grip conditions. Like I had to try and make the rear more stable, to build more rear grip into the car, and I was always fighting the low grip levels in terms of sliding, and basically chasing the setup, chasing the car to make it work better on the low grip conditions. But as for the 24 car, I usually find that I can just throw the car down on the track and it drives good right away. It makes good traction no matter the track condition, and just makes my life so much easier, and it's just a joy to drive even on a dusty low grip track like I'm seeing here today. And obviously the lower CG and the more centralized weight has an immensely positive effect on high grip conditions, because when the grip comes up, the car starts rolling around more, it starts transferring more weight. Those improvements are gonna make a really big difference. But it's not to be forgotten that those things also help for lower grip. It also makes the car easier and more predictable to drive on lower grip surfaces. So it not only shines on high grip, but these improvements really help for let's say club racing or lower grip conditions. And three things which makes driving and fine-tuning the X4'24 much easier than the previous cars. I'm gonna list them. For example, the possibility to fine-tune the shock angles with shims. So you can really make small changes just with shims to chase and to find the perfect setup in as small as 0.5 millimeter can really make a big difference and can, let's say, make or break the setup. In this case, I find that incredibly useful for fine-tuning. And furthermore, the possibility to make the rear shock holder active can really improve rotation and drivability, mainly on high grip surfaces, but also on lower grip surfaces like my home track right here. Finally, the new shock holders, they have three different flex options, which each have their own characteristics that are beneficial for certain conditions. So that gives you a very wide setup window. The car can be set up differently for different tracks and grip levels just by changing the flex options of the shock holders. And this is something that wasn't really possible in the past, but on the X4'24 it's a really good and efficient tuning option. The new shock mounting position has optimized flex under dampening, which is put into effect by mounting the shocks in the center of the suspension arm instead of at the back or at the front. And this not only makes the car drive better, it generates more grip, which makes it easier to drive, more predictable. Like I said earlier, I can just throw the car down on a low grip track and it has instant traction. But another thing which amazed me was that when you set the tweak of the car, when you work with the the setup wheels to set the tweak, it seems to not need much adjustments at all, because the way the shock's mounted, the preload and everything just seems to be more precise. And I find myself changing the tweak settings a lot less than on the X4'23. And that was a very welcome change, which I didn't expect, but nonetheless I'm very impressed by. The X4 is simply a joy to drive, and I cannot wait to hear the feedback from customers, regardless of their skill levels or what racing conditions they're racing on. Personally, I feel that the X4'24 will give me the edge when racing at the highest level at events all around the world. And I'm looking forward to bringing this car to the racetracks.